Welcome to the Rosary Team podcast.
Hello, everyone.
We are launching straight into a deep dive today, and this one is, well, it's focusing on some genuinely surprising news.
Very recent news coming out of Italy.
Right, and it's about one of the Maronite Church's most, I think, universally beloved saints.
Saint Charbel McGlough.
Exactly.
And, this isn't just us recounting an old story of faith. We are really dissecting hard news reports here.
That's the key.
A Neapolitan priest, Monsignor Pasquale Silvestri, has gone public. He's declared a recent event with Saint Charbel's blessed oil a miracle.
And the really significant thing here for you, our listener, is how specific this claim is. It's not just a healing, which is amazing in itself, but it's a confirmed instance of physical matter being spontaneously created.
A production of matter, as he called it.
And that's the core of our deep dive today. What does that even mean? This shifts the whole conversation from a subjective experience to an objective phenomenon.
It does. So what exactly happened in that church in Naples?
And why did he have to report it immediately under canon law?
Let's set the scene.
Please do.
So this all took place on July 24th, 2025. It was during the Saints' Liturgical Memorial Mass.
Okay.
The location was St. Ferdinand Church, right in the crowded historic heart of Naples, Italy.
So you can just picture it. Packed church.
Absolutely. We need to picture the scene. Over 500 people were at this Mass. And the sources really stressed that a lot of them, they were there specifically seeking help for illnesses.
So the air was already charged with a kind of hope.
Exactly, with expectation.
And Monsignor Silvestri, his main role that day was the anointing.
Right, distributing this blessed oil. And it was special oil, too, sent from the Maronite Curia in Rome.
So he begins the anointing, moving through this very packed church.
He does. But because of the sheer size of the congregation, way larger than they anticipated, he runs into a problem almost right away.
A logistical one.
A very logistical one. He stated in his testimony that he quickly realized the small vessel holding the oil, it was running dangerously low.
He knew he was near the end. So what did he do? Because that part, the documentation of the vessel being emptied, that's so crucial to the claim, isn't it?
It's the defining feature of this whole event. He was incredibly thorough. He managed to finish anointing everyone, but he had to be really resourceful.
How so?
He confirmed that he was actively scraping the bottom for every last drop. He even went so far as to turn the jar completely upside down several times.
Just to get those final traces of oil out.
Yes, to make sure that not a single person was left out. He was absolutely convinced that the vessel was spent.
Wait, so this wasn't some ambiguous thing like, oh, I think it's empty. He was actively trying to exhaust the supply.
Precisely. That diligence makes what happens next incredibly powerful.
So what happened the moment he stored that empty jar?
He placed the closed jar back into its dedicated case, intending to lock it away in the church safe. But as he handled it, he froze. He said, and I'm quoting him, "I couldn't believe what I was seeing."
Wow.
The supposedly empty vessel had, within moments, become full again.
Just full.
More than full, actually. He specifically noted that it weighed more than before.
That added weight, that confirms the physical creation of Mass. It's not just volume, it's actual matter.
Yes.
Before we move on, this production of matter is a very serious theological claim. How is that different, say, in canonical terms, from a healing miracle?
That's a great question. That's where we get into the deep dive.
Right.
A healing miracle, a cure, is often seen as a cessation of illness. It's profound, but it involves the restoration of existing matter.
Okay.
A production of matter, however, is more like a multiplication, or even, potentially, creation ex nihilo, something physical appearing where it wasn't just moments before.
So the church has to take that even more seriously.
Immediately. Under canon law, this requires a rigorous investigation. The priest has to contact the postulator, that's the official who manages miracles associated with the saint, to make sure it's all properly documented and tested.
So he knew he couldn't just keep quiet about this.
Absolutely not. His reaction says it all. He shared the news with the faithful, who, responded with applause, but he insisted he was absolutely not a miracle worker. He knew he was just a witness.
A witness to something that seems to defy physics, and yet that wasn't the only powerful sign from that day.
Not even close. The day was really punctuated by two miracles.
Go on.
Before the Mass, that very morning, a young parishioner, maybe 20 years old, she was cured of a breast tumor.
Wow.
And her doctors had previously said it was impossible to treat. She attributed her instantaneous cure directly to Saint Charbel's intercession.
So you have this major life-altering healing, and then it's immediately followed by this public, visible miracle of the oil.
It's an incredible sequence of events.
And then there's the other detail, the one that links Naples all the way back to Lebanon.
The fragrance, the sensory confirmation.
Tell us about that.
The day after all this happened, a group of Lebanese pilgrims actually visited the church. They asked if they could smell the refilled oil.
And what did they find?
They confirmed it gave off the unmistakable aroma of the cedars of Lebanon.
No way!
Yes. The priest himself noted, the oil is fragrant, something that seems impossible. Because blessed oil, unless you specifically perfume it, it doesn't usually have such a powerful scent.
So it's like a spiritual signature.
It is. It connects the event right back to the very geography of the saint himself.
That aroma is such a powerful tie. Let's sit back for a second and just remind our listener about Saint Charbel. He's become such a crucial spiritual bridge figure.
He really has. Saint Charbel was born Yusuf Antoun from a village called Bakokafra, which is very near the famous Cedars of God.
So he's from the heart of Lebanon.
Very much so. A 19th century Maronite hermit and priest who lived a life of extreme solitude and prayer. He was canonized by Pope Paul VI in 1977.
And what's fascinating is how widespread his intercession is said to be.
It's global. He's famous for obtaining miracles not just for Catholics, but for Muslims, followers of other religions, even non-believers. That really makes him this dynamic spiritual bridge between East and West.
It's clear the Monsignor in Naples was already devoted to him, even before this happened. He shared a personal story about a dream, right?
He did. It was this really impactful moment for him. He said he wasn't someone who typically believed in dreams, but he dreamed that Saint Charbel, who in all his official photos looks very stern, very serious.
But I've seen them.
Was looking right at him and laughing. Laughing. That unexpected image of a smiling, accessible saint is what sparked the priest's devotion. It led him to dedicate masses and eventually to receive the very oil that became the center of this miracle.
And the global stage for Saint Charbel is just getting larger. We see his importance reflected in the Vatican's own plans for later this year.
Absolutely. Pope Leo XIV's first apostolic journey, scheduled for November 27th to December 2nd, 2025.
To Turkey and Lebanon.
Exactly. And his itinerary specifically features a pilgrimage to Anaya to pray at Saint Charbel's tomb.
So that's not just a courtesy stop.
Not at all. It emphasizes the saint's role as a spiritual anchor, especially as the Pope offers solidarity to a nation that has endured so much crisis. Saint Charbel is a symbol of unbreakable resilience.
The story of this miracle really connects that historical resilience in Lebanon to the faith of a community today in Italy. And if you're captivated by this rich heritage, the art, and the history we've been discussing, we really encourage you to take your own deep dive. You can explore all the related resources, including Maronite icons and art, and really connect with this ancient and vibrant faith. Just visit our sponsor site, rosaryteam.com.
It's a great resource.
Check out their Maronite collection and the over 4,000 products available in the Holy Rosary Team's store. You can learn so much more. That's rosaryteam.com.
And, you know, it's so important to connect this one miraculous event back to the tangible vitality of the community that sustains this devotion.
Right. It's not just an ancient history. It's a living tradition.
The sources really detail that.
The Order of Saint Charbel, for instance, that's an active group focused on ensuring financial stability.
They support the Maronite Seminary and retired clergy in the U.S. It's not glamorous work, but it's the bedrock. It ensures the faith gets passed on.
And that passing on of the faith catechesis is really emphasized, isn't it?
Very much so. It's taught to be linked to the family, the richness of the liturgy, and ongoing programs. It's not just about classroom learning.
You see parishes running vacation Bible schools and adults in deep study. It's about ensuring the next generation really understands their ancient roots.
Exactly. A complete holistic understanding.
And maybe the most powerful sign of that continued vitality beyond the miraculous oil is the constant flow of new leadership.
Absolutely. The recent priestly ordination of Father Elias Hezkiel in Detroit was highlighted as a huge sign of hope.
It represents the continuation of that unbroken chain of faith.
A chain that stretches back through the prophets, through hermits like Saint Charbel, and right into the needs of the modern church. It shows the tradition isn't static. It's thriving.
So when we circle back to the main story, this public, verifiable miracle in Naples, it really becomes this powerful confirmation.
For everyone, not just for the faithful in Italy, but for the global Maronite community and beyond.
It's a physical sign supporting what the Monsignor himself said, that miracles are recounted in the gospel and in the Word of God.
It is. It's a visible, physical sign of the supernatural intersecting with the ordinary. And I think that's the key takeaway.
What's that?
The Maronite tradition, anchored by figures like Saint Charbel, who lived lives of quiet, extreme dedication, continues to offer this vibrant, miraculous witness that bridges ancient faith with modern skepticism.
Our deep dive today really underscored that power. But to end with a thought for you, the listener, it's easy to focus on the spectacular, on the production of matter in Naples. But Saint Charbel himself was a hermit known for sacred silence.
Right, and if you want to tap into even a tiny fraction of that supernatural strength, maybe don't look at the dramatic miracle.
But at what then?
At the humility and patience of the saint's daily life. The mystical writer, St. John of the Cross, he offered advice that just profoundly mirrors the hermit's dedication.
What did he say?
He said, whenever anything disagreeable or displeasing happens to you, remember Christ crucified and be silent. St. Charbel embodied that.
So the great miracle, the creation of matter, it comes from that quiet interior choice.
The choice to meet daily irritation or suffering, not with a reaction, but with patience and sacred silence.
That transformation of something so mundane, like an annoyance, into spiritual power. That's the real lesson of the hermit.
It is.
So a final thought. Reflect on how you can transform maybe just one daily annoyance this week by choosing that sacred silence, echoing the foundation of St. Charbel's intercession.
It connects the highest form of spiritual achievement back to the most basic human choice, patience.
A profound challenge to end on. If you want to explore more about this incredible tradition, the heritage we discussed, or the Maronite collection, remember to visit rosaryteam.com.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to the Rosary Team podcast.